Sorry guys, I'm late. Happy Friday. Hang on, let's see. I always do this. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hi. I'm trying to make sure I can pull up the chat. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm trying to set up my laptop so I can see your comments. Can you guys hear me okay? I do this every live. I always think I'm going to be ready, and I'm never ready. Hi, Caitlin, Mitch. All right. Happy Friday. All right, so I'm assuming the sound is okay because I think everyone said they can hear. Because I don't want to be rambling and then nobody can hear the audio. Can you guys hear? Okay, awesome. Well, welcome. Sorry guys, I'm late. Caitlin from North Carolina. All right, so it's gonna jump right in. It's been a while since I had the live, so it's gonna dive right in. So one question someone asked me under the community post. Oh Lord, if they can use my brain. Okay, they asked if they could switch out Liquid Gemo Plus and use GeoGuard ECT or Preservative Eco. Preservative Eco, GeoGuard ECT, they are the same preservative. So yeah, you should be able to. The only difference is Preservative Eco or GeoGuard ECT is not very water soluble. So you want to make sure you mix it well in your formulation. Maybe add glycerin to help it mix better. But yeah, you can switch out Liquid Gemo Plus and use GeoGuard ECT or Preservative Eco. They're the same preservative. Preservative Eco and GeoGuard ECT are the same preservative. And then someone had asked if I could do a video on with an emulsified cream with preservative. I think I have at least 5 videos on my channel with that content. So I'm not going to do it. I don't think I'm going to do another emulsified cream video unless it's maybe tips. But yeah, if you asked about an emulsified cream with preservative, check my channel. There are several videos. I think those are the only 2 that I can think of at the top of my head. Guys, don't forget to like the video too. Just hit the like button. Okay, let me get to you guys' questions. My goal is not to be on here for so long. Let's see. Hi, Andre. I have a problem with making salicylic acid serum. I start with dissolving salicylic acid in pro-glycol, and when adding this solution to water, the salicylic coagulates again. The only way I've dissolved salicylic acid, I've had to heat it up. I added salicylic acid to vegetable glycerin, and then I just put it on a very low heat, and yeah, it's a pain to dissolve. That's the only way I've found that has properly dissolved the salicylic acid. Make a water bath, put your salicylic acid. You can use the pro-glycol. I haven't used it, but I've used glycerin. And I've had some formulations with salicylic acid that I made in January for batch testing. They still look perfect. So try that. Dissolve the salicylic acid with some heat. Let's see. Hi, Hyacinth. All right. If you have any questions, just post it in the comments. And if there's anything you're working on that you're needing help troubleshooting, any formula, stuff like that, just drop it in the chat. But hopefully everyone is doing well. I think Hyacinth, didn't you? I don't know. There's a Hyacinth that joined the Patreon. I don't know if it's you. I don't know if that's you. But oh, if anyone joined my Patreon, just I have something pinned in the homepage, like how to use Patreon. Okay, hi. Okay, that's you. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, just if you're someone that's joined and maybe you're having trouble accessing the content, I think I actually pinned a video on the homepage that shows you how to access Patreon content. And unfortunately, I think they changed their platform. They updated it, so it's a little bit weird now accessing content. So I'm probably going to have to update that post. Yeah, Patreon changed. They had an update, and it's even kind of weird for me because I'm in like 4 other patrons, and it's kind of weird accessing the content. Yeah. Hi, essential elements. Hi, Itama said, hi. Can I use food grade niacinamide? I didn't know there was food grade niacinamide. I'm assuming there is. I always recommend using cosmetic grade ingredients for your formulations. I really haven't used food grade, so I don't know how that would be, but if you're making your cosmetic formulas, definitely best to just purchase cosmetic grade because they've been processed for like those formulations, skincare, hair care formulations. So I can't really speak on food grade. I typically don't recommend food grade. Yeah. Unless you're just making it for like a DIY at home that you plan on maybe using it up very quickly. But if you're trying to make stable formulas, hair, skincare, always recommended to buy cosmetic grade ingredients because they're usually more stable. All right, so that's that with my Patreon. So if you're new, just check the homepage. There's a post that's pinned on the homepage. There are different links on there about how you can access the content. Best way to reach me is direct message on Patreon. If you, my Instagram DMs and TikTok DMs, I really don't monitor those because it's flooded with just 1,000,001 messages. And there's just no way for me to respond, you know, to each message and then still get about with my day. I get messages on Patreon, I get messages on YouTube. There's just no way. So if you're on my Patreon, just send me a message directly. There's a thing that says message. That's going to be a direct message. That's the best way. That's the best way to reach me. But if you're sending me any message on Instagram, TikTok, 90 now, I can't monitor those. It's very hard to monitor those. So I most likely will not respond to that. You're welcome, Itama. So Patreon DMs. What else? I think formulating. There was another question someone asked me. Yeah, just post your questions. That's why we're doing this. Post your questions, and I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss a question on my. Somebody sent me a message or posted. Let me see. Making substitutions to ingredients in videos. You don't have to use everything exactly as I used. You can always swap out the ingredients or omit them if you don't have it. I don't offer hair formulation classes at this time. I've gotten several requests or questions about hair formulations. Right now, for me personally, I'm really just trying to perfect my skincare or get it to where I want it to be. So that's why I really focus on skincare formulations. Hair care is not something that I've really put my energy to doing. I hope to do that more because I'm trying to formulate products for scalp psoriasis, scalp issues, things like that. So that would be my target. So that'll probably be for the new year, by God's grace, for hair care. But for this year, the rest of this year is just going to be skincare. So if you're someone that asks me about hair care one-on-one type of things, I don't offer that right now. All I offer are my 2 classes pre-recorded. They're not live classes. I don't have any live classes right now. I might do one, but I'm not sure. I might do a live class, but the problem is anytime I set up the live classes, then I don't really get as many signups as I want. When the live classes are not available, then my emails are like, when are you going to have a live class? When? And those are hard to set up. So because they take a lot of time. Imagine trying to teach for 3 hours and then you have multiple people in class. You might have maybe 5-6 people. Everyone learns at a different pace. So sometimes a 3-hour class may end up being almost a 4-hour class. So I don't have those very often. That's why I do my online class. Yeah, you're welcome, Mitch. Yeah, I always get asked about the hair care. I have people that go on my website where I have my online class, the skincare, and they would email. They're like, oh, I see your beginner class. Does this class teach you about hair conditioners, hair shampoos, I'm like, no, it's the skincare. But yeah, I don't know. I thought let me see. Okay. I don't see any other. I think I got everyone. Let me double check. Yeah. So let me know if you don't have any other questions. Let me double check. What else? Someone had asked me about sodium, let me write down, sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget, in shampoo making. They said how to use sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate in shampoo making. When I get those kind of questions, I always say, don't make the shampoo, because that means you don't understand how to use preservatives. So if you don't know how to use a preservative, don't make a product that needs a preservative. I hope that makes sense. Like, if you want to make a water-based product, you know it needs a preservative. So if you don't know how to preserve a product, then don't make the product. Make sure you study first. I say it all the time because a lot of times I get those questions like, how much of, can I add this preservative to this? Or how much of this preservative should I add? And I always say it's not just about, it's a simple answer most times where I can say, oh, add, this is the usage rate. But the fact is, it's more dangerous for you to make a product not understanding how to use a preservative. Hopefully, guidelines change in the United States, because it's very It's just a lot of unsafe. I saw some video on TikTok about, there was someone that had a viral product. Oh gosh, let me put my live chat. I closed it, sorry guys. They had a viral product making like cleansing pads, like a turmeric cleansing pad, and it is just weird. They put all this stuff. They put like, I think liquid castile soap. They put they put a bunch of things. Witch hazel, turmeric powder. They just put a bunch of things. No preservative. I was just like, okay. Oh, let me see. I think you missed. What was your question, Hyacinth, on scrubs? I don't think on the live chat. If and let me say also on, if you send me a question on Patreon, this was happening, and I've said it so many times, but a lot of times because the videos, a lot of the posts, I'll just address this before I answer the other question. On Patreon, if you post a question on an older post or in an older post, it's very hard for me to see this because there's so many notifications that come on Patreon. Like, I get notified on so many things, people joining, people leaving, or email notifications. So sometimes the comments on old posts, meaning posts that are probably over 30 days old, it's so hard for me to see because sometimes I miss it. But I think you sent me something about flaxseed. I don't know, something about swapping out flaxseed. I don't remember, but if that was you, I know I responded to that comment. That's why I always say on Patreon, the best way to reach me is if you have a question on a post, just send a direct message. It's very, very hard to track because the way Patreon is set up, it's very, very hard to see every single comment and respond to it. Luckily, my Patreon is still small. I don't know how people like Tara Lee that have thousands do it because it's even for me that I don't have that much, it's still hard for me to miss questions. So I don't know which question you had, Hyacinth. If it's the one about switching out, I think I remember there was a question about flaxseed or switching it out, but I know I responded to that one. Let me see. Mitch, you said, so as for skincare, do you have any good lotion bar formulation? Is turmeric good to a lotion bar or stick? I've only made one lotion bar formulation since I started YouTube. It's not really something I've done a lot of, but I only have one lotion bar, and I think I have it on YouTube. I don't know. I think I did pull out most of my formulas, so it would be on my Patreon. That one was pretty good. I think it was a moringa lotion bar, but they're very easy to do. I actually have a formula that I was going to upload on YouTube. I just haven't done it, edited it yet. And then is turmeric good for a lotion bar or stick? Turmeric, it depends. Turmeric has a tendency to stain, so it depends on how you formulate the lotion bar. I'm very careful when I use turmeric for my leave-on products because it does have a tendency to stain. But yeah, you can include it. It should be fine, but you just keep that in mind. The lotion bar shouldn't break if you formulate it well. The one I had never broke, Hyacinth. If you formulate a lotion bar with a good ratio of the wax, either beeswax or candelilla wax or whatever wax you want to use, beeswax, candelilla wax, I think rice, there's so many different waxes. The ratio you use and the combination of butters you use should not, yeah, mine never broke. It was actually, I have it on YouTube, but the formula is not on there. And then Itama asked, can I sell my product with liquid germal preservative only? You have to stability test. I don't know what product you're making. I don't know what you're selling. But whatever you're selling, anytime you have a product with any type of preservative, you have to test. Send it to the lab, see if your preservative holds up. Stability test for at least, I always say at least a minimum of 30 to 60 days to see how your product holds up over time. Yeah, but Liquid Germal Plus is a pretty strong preservative, so it does hold up for a lot of formulas, but you have to test. Caitlin, what was the most difficult thing for you when you started your skincare business as far as making the products? Everything was difficult. everything. Everything was difficult. I'm not even being funny. Hardest thing probably would be for me was narrowing down the products I wanted to sell and figuring out what was going to work for my audience who was buying the products. I think that was the hardest thing, which is still ongoing. You still have to constantly evaluate your products, see what's selling, what's not selling, what works. So that was the hardest thing for me. Everything else came as the longer I stayed in business, suppliers, all those other things. And then Hyacinth said, have you used kojic acid in soap? I haven't. It's on my to-do list. I actually have I got a melt and pour base that I want to use some kojic acid. I'm thinking I might do a melt and pour base and then cold process soap. I want to test the two. It's actually on my formulating list of videos to film. I haven't, but I have bought I think I bought a soap, kojic acid soap. I don't know how effective that soap was. It didn't really feel like it was doing anything, honestly. Hyacinth, you said your comment was tonight. Let me see. Maybe I missed it. Let me go back. Hyacinth, I don't see your question. You said my comment was tonight. Did you mean your comment was tonight on the live chat or on Patreon? Because I don't see any question about scrubs on here. Unless I'm just not reading. Did you post your question on Patreon or on the live chat? Because I don't see any question from you on live chat, Hyacinth. I don't see any question. And for Patreon, I stopped checking my messages after a certain time. So I don't know what time you sent it, but I can't. Yeah, I'm only one person, guys. I have a window where I check messages, and after that, and then on the weekends I don't respond to messages. I have to have a balance. Itama, you're welcome. Greg, hi. Hope to learn something. Of course. Thank you for joining the live. Hi, Sheila. I'm interested in making a body wash with hyaluronic acid. Do you have any tip on using this particular product or ingredient? Not really. It's just use, I don't know which one you're buying, but there are different grades of hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid I would prefer to use it for a face wash or rather than a body wash, but it is preference. This is an expensive ingredient, so that's the only thing I would say. Hyaluronic acid is very expensive, so I think it's more beneficial for your face because your body tissue is, it's not as delicate as your face. So your body doesn't really need, unless you're targeting maybe hyperpigmentation or marks, you're doing something specific for your body. But hyaluronic acid, I personally would prefer to use it in the face wash. But that's just me. If you decide to use it in the body wash, just pay attention to the grade of hyaluronic acid you're buying because they have different weights. And there's the high HMW, the high molecular weight one is able to create gels. I'm just going to type it, but the low molecular weight doesn't create gels. So it just depends on what you're going for, how you want your body wash to be. Best way I find to mix hyaluronic acid that works for me is to mix it in glycerin, and it helps disperse into your formula, or you can leave it for a few hours, depending on which one you buy. Yeah, Hyacinth, I didn't see any question on the chat. Okay, let me see okay, you know why? I figured it out. My chat setting is off. It's only sending me top messages. It's not sending me everything. So let me see if I can fix that. Hang on. That's why. Let me see. Hang on, okay. I fixed it now. Yeah, that's why I couldn't see it. It was only giving me certain messages. Okay, let me see. I have to scroll. Above the kojic acid comment. Unless YouTube blocked it. Let me see. I don't see your comment, even with putting everything. Yeah, I don't see it. Unless I'm going too fast. Let me see. Yeah, I'm on live chat. All messages are visible. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see it, Hyacinth. I'm double checking, okay? Yeah, I don't see your question. Just type it again. I don't see it. I changed my setting and I don't see it. Okay, you said the scrubs are cutting my backside. They keep breaking. I don't know what you mean by they keep breaking. Do you mean separating? Thanks, Mitch. Okay, Natasha said her question is closer to the top. Why can't I see? Is it my glasses? I can't see anything. Oh my goodness. I think it's probably because I have a horrible headache. Maybe that's why the glare from my... oh my goodness, my eyes. Let me see. That's so weird. Oh, maybe this is why. Okay, I think I see. There was an arrow I was supposed to drop down. Okay, let me see. Hyacinth, for your scrubs, what emulsifying wax are you using and how much emulsifying wax, what percentage? And then I don't know your ingredients. Is it a foaming scrub or a whipped sugar scrub? Because yeah, I've never had that issue with my scrubs, at least with the emulsified ones, but it depends on your... I think one time I had a weird separation, but it was the emulsifying wax. I didn't use enough. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, I would have to know what your formula... Sometimes I would have to know what your formula is or what your ingredient. It's kind of hard to just troubleshoot something without knowing what the ingredients are, honestly. Hi, Sheila says, you're welcome, Sheila. I was thinking about using either the hyaluronic or glycolic acid 10% solution. Okay. Yeah, I would say before you use any active, just make sure you read the formulating directions. Glycolic acid is pretty strong. You would need it's very, very acidic. So if you're using it in a body wash, just make sure you adjust the pH to where it's skin friendly, because it is very, very, very low in pH. Yeah, but either of those ingredients are fine, but hyaluronic acid is more expensive. Glycolic acid is way cheaper than hyaluronic acid, but it's an active. So are you just using it? You want to make an exfoliating body wash, and yeah. So if that's what you're wanting to do, then just make sure that you take into account the pH, preservative, because you want to make sure the preservative is effective in that pH range. I know glycolic acid, I think it's probably in the, I want to say maybe 3 point something or 3 in pH range. It's really low. So you have to adjust the pH, raise up the pH with some sodium hydroxide solution. I don't know if that helps. Itama, do I really need to use xanthan gum for product stability for face cream? No, depends on the emulsifying wax you're using. I've made many face creams without xanthan gum. The only emulsifying wax, the only emulsifying wax that I add xanthan gum to is Olivem 1000. And I actually have made creams without xanthan gum. Just make sure you use enough emulsifying wax and co-emulsifying wax, and your product will be stable. You want to have a good blend of the e-wax, and so if you're using emulsifying wax, have a co-emulsifier like maybe cetyl alcohol or stearic acid, just to help make it stable. That has been my experience using. I've made many creams, moisturizers, 98% of the time, 99% of the time without xanthan gum, and they all stay stable. It depends on your emulsifying wax that you're using, the amount, percentage, and then co-emulsifying wax. Okay, so they are separating. Yeah, Hyacinth, yeah, let me know what your ingredients are or what wax you're using. Yeah, I would have to know your formula. I don't know why it's separating. It's kind of hard. The only thing I would say, if your scrub is separating, it could be, and your emulsified scrub could be, give me a second, could be the, sorry, I'm checking message. It could be your emulsifying wax. That's why it's not staying together. Yes. Yes, you can. Sorry, guys. Okay. You're welcome, Sheila. No, I can see the comments. I think what happened is why I don't like to use my phone. A lot of times I wear glasses, so it's hard to see. So I always have my laptop open. But my settings, my chat settings were off. Like I only had, it was filtering the comments. So I did see her comment eventually. But now I can see everyone. Hopefully I can see everyone's comments now. I don't know what this is. Okay. My goodness. When I tell you, trying to even see this. Okay. Natisha said, I agree. When I saw the when I saw the price, I went with salicylic acid and kojic acid for scrubs. Yeah, salicylic acid is very inexpensive compared to, yeah, but I think with salicylic acid, you just have to make sure you're mixing it well, like getting it dissolved well in a good solvent. Kojic acid. Alrighty. I think I got every. Okay, so sorry, Hyacinth, you said I think I missed this one. You added your Gemo Plus at 70. What do you mean 70? Do you mean 70 degrees? What is, I'm not sure. I think I missed that, Hyacinth. I don't know what you mean. I just got distracted and added my Gemo Plus at 70. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe I'm just not. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, definitely do due diligence when experimenting, and always definitely do smaller batches. You know, I know for me when I was making emulsified scrubs, when I came up with some of my final formulas, I was selling emulsified scrubs, but I think I ended up, I think I'm discontinuing my scrubs. I'm not sure, but I know that it took me a minute to get my formula the way I wanted it to. So that's always the frustrating thing. You make something, you want it to be stable, and maybe you come back in a week or two, then you see it's turned into a mess, then you have to go back to the drawing board, formulate it, like change things up, and then, yeah. But that's the whole thing with formulating. People don't know the work that goes into it, and then they want a free formula, like, email me your recipe, ingredient by ingredient. It's a lot of work that goes into it. But yeah, I always advise, if you're formulating with any active, make sure you research, understand the ingredient, because it's not just throwing in, that ingredient in it, just Do your due diligence, like you said, Sheila. I think I got everyone's question on community, I think. Let me double check. I think there were only 2 questions somebody asked me there. Somebody asked me, how do you get rid of shea butter smell in final product? Just maybe fragrance, essential oils. Buy good quality shea butter though. Or you can use refined. Refined doesn't have any smell. So you can do either use fragrance, essential oils to get rid of body butter, the shea butter smell, or use refined. Okay, I think I got it. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't miss anyone's question because that's the most annoying thing. Let's see. Mitch, have you used babasu oil in place of coconut oil? Do you like the results or prefer coconut oil? I was going to use babasu oil. I actually bought some babasu oil. Babasu oil is not cheap. I feel like unless somebody has an allergy to coconut oil, I would stick with coconut oil. Unless if you're using for personal use, then that's fine. But if you're selling, babasu oil is not cheap. But my understanding is I looked at the like the SAP values for coconut oil and coconut oil. Actually, coconut oil, palm oil, and babasu are kind of similar. They have a similar effect in your cold processed soap, but it is expensive. I haven't used it, but I from what I've read, it is a lighter oil. But I personally would not use unless somebody tells me, can you make a custom soap for me? I'm allergic to coconut oil. Okay, if it's for allergies, then yes, I would use. But babasu oil is it's a rich light oil. That's the closest thing to coconut. Like it's a good alternative for palm oil and coconut oil. Yeah, and I actually played around with it in the formula. I was using it in a formula, like testing it out to see if I wanted to make the soap. And if you run it in soap calc, you'll see the hardness. Like it's almost like you're using coconut oil or palm oil. Yeah. If you want to spend those coins to buy it, then yeah, it's fine. You can use it. It's very good in cold processed soap, but it's expensive. So people that sell soap, everything is so expensive now. So if it's for personal use, then yeah. But if you're selling, yeah, it's expensive. Sheila, is vitamin C, ascorbic acid good for face washes? I purchased that one instead of the one I should have gotten. I don't know if I understand your question. I haven't really used a lot of vitamin C face washes. I personally feel vitamin C is more beneficial as a leave-on product. So either in a serum or an oil, something that's going to really stay on the skin. As a rinse off, I'm not very confident that it's really going to do anything unless maybe you're combining it with other actives. But actives typically work best as a leave-on. Yes, there are. I've seen. I can't remember the brand, but I think it's a big brand. They have vitamin C face washes and stuff like that. But I haven't used it in a face wash. I think I have it as a serum. I've used it as a serum. But I don't know what you mean. You purchased that one instead of the one I should have gotten. That I'm not sure of. I don't know what you mean. Have you ever used Crotix liquid thickener? I haven't, but it's pretty easy to use from what I understand. It works pretty well. I'm just personally invested in Xanthan Gum Soft because I like it the best. But Crotix is pretty good. Anytime I said too many questions, I know you all need to be paying me for this answering this question. It's like an online formulating service, but I'm not being paid. Like, what's up with that, guys? Like, it's like this question. Usually, I always have. She's an amazing formulator. She has a YouTube channel, Feed the Beauty. I'm going to leave her feed here. Normally, she joins the chat, and she usually answers most of the questions. So, but I don't see her today. Feed the Beauty, she has a YouTube channel. She's a formulator. So normally when she's in the chat, she helps me out. Now I'm just like, yeah. I understand what Sheila meant. Is ascorbic acid the vitamin C used? I don't know. I would have to see the ingredients. If it's listed as ascorbic acid, then it's just the regular standard vitamin C. But I know like there's the, I want to say synthetic, like modified form of vitamin C. I think, oh my gosh. I think there are like two. My brain. Those would be different. I think those are listed differently. If it's just regular ascorbic acid, it's just the plain vitamin C that's not very stable. Normally, vitamin C in water formulations, like just ascorbic acid vitamin C, it tends to discolor when it's, because it oxidizes quickly, it turns brown. So most times they'll use it with like ferulic acid or something like that. But if you're using like the one video I did on YouTube, I think I used glyceryl ascorbate. It's like a vitamin C derivative. So that one is more stable. So you have to look at the inky name. So I don't know, whichever company, if you're looking at a vitamin C wash, you would have to see what the inky name is. If it just says ascorbic acid, that's just plain old regular vitamin C that's not very stable. So they usually have to add other things to kind of help boost it, you know, the stability. So I don't know if that's what you meant. Let me see. You guys gonna give me a second to catch my breath, guys. I see so many questions. My brain. I know there's oh, what's the other one? There's a MAP. There's another, but these I believe they're all derivatives of vitamin C. There's a MAP version. I think it's like magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, something like that. But it's, look at the supplier. Whenever you go to the supplier, look at the inky name. Those derivatives of vitamin C are more stable, but ascorbic acid is not the most stable. So I don't know, but most serums I've seen is just the standard ascorbic acid with ferulic acid combined. So I don't know if that helps. Hyacinth said I use 3% ewax, 2% stearic acid, beeswax. Okay, maybe I'm reading this wrong. Hold on. 3% ewax, 2% stearic acid, 1.5% beeswax, 22. So the only thing I would change in your formula would be to increase the ewax. Let me see, because you have, let's see, 22% plus 5, 27. Actually, no, you don't even have that much oils. Let me see, 22, 27, 29. So you have about 29% oil and butter. It's about 60%. Yeah, I'm surprised it's separating though. I don't, for me, everybody is different. So I would definitely increase the ewax. I'll probably increase the ewax to at least 5%. maybe 5 to 7% range. I'll probably make the e-wax at least, let's say 5 to 6%. The stearic acid you really don't need, but you can leave it there, maybe it's fine. Beeswax, I'm not sure why you have beeswax in there. It's just good. The beeswax, I'm not sure why it's in there because you have stearic acid. I would remove the beeswax. Keep the stearic acid at 1 to 2%. 1%, 2% is fine. So raise your e-wax to maybe 5, 6%. Or 5 to 6%. Stearic acid, leave it alone. Remove the beeswax. Sunflower, 2% fragrance. Yeah, I'm not sure why yours is correct. Yeah, I would just raise, and I'll say whenever you melt everything down, whenever you melt all your waxes, butter, coconut oil, make sure wax is really melted. What emulsifying wax are you? Okay, NF, you did say NF. NF is pretty stable. What really helped me with my sugar scrubs, my emulsified sugar scrubs, because I used to be so impatient when I used to make them. When you melt down your waxes, everything, and I like freeze it, make sure when it's frozen or whatever, that you can whip it to a consistency that feels like a light body butter, if that makes sense. Like, make sure you can kind of whip it. That I find when I do mine that way is the most stable. Sometimes if it's not really semi-solid and it's still in liquid form and I start adding my sugar and other things, that's when sometimes I have some, really not separation, but it's a little bit of separation. So I would say raise the e-wax. Whenever you melt it down, freeze it, make sure it's semi-solid so that when you whip it, you can have like a, light texture. Then you can now start adding your sugar, jojoba beads, all that stuff. Yeah, well, Sheila, I saw that is the unstable one. Yeah, it's unstable, but if you add, try adding, don't just discard it, you can still use it. Try adding ferulic acid to it if you can. It usually helps it. And then what I noticed, some supplier, one of the suppliers I buy, Lotion Crafter, I noticed they have the, it says like ultra fine ascorbic acid. So I think those ones they say you can actually use it in oil formulas. You're welcome, Hyacinth. Yeah, let me know how that goes. But I find that's the most stable way I've gotten my sugar scrubs to be, where they don't separate. Sorry, I was trying to read something. I guess your jojoba beads is just for the color, I'm assuming, because you have like 60% sugar. Yeah, you can definitely reduce your sugar too. Probably by the time you increase your emulsifying wax, by the time your sugar probably will be about 55% maybe. You're welcome, Sheila. Yeah, don't just go throw away your vitamin C. I actually have some vitamin C, the ascorbic acid one. I want to formulate with. I just haven't. There's only so much I can formulate at a time. I have so many things I've written down to formulate. I just haven't been able to do everything, honestly. What else? Okay, I answered that one. What else? Okay, let's make sure I not miss any questions. So I'm going to share a quick story time. I thought this really cracked me up. I think this was like 3 weeks ago. I got a DM. That's why I don't check my DMs anymore. I think that was the last straw. Like, okay, I'm done. I'm not checking my DMs. Actually, 2 weeks ago, yeah, that was like, I said I'm done. They sent me a message in my Instagram, and the only reason I responded was I think they followed me from before, and they had sent me a message asking about class. So I responded like months ago, and then they came back saying, hey, we want to join. I want to join your. Sorry, guys, I'm so thirsty. I want to join your. How do I join your Patreon? And I said, hey, it's linked in my bio. Blah blah blah. You can click there and join. I never heard from them again until maybe 2 months later. And then that morning, I got a message that said, hey, I've been messaging you on Patreon. You're not responding. I'm like, huh, that's so odd. Like, why would you leave Patreon and come to my Instagram DMs where I really don't check my Instagram DMs when you can just send me a message directly on Patreon? So I was just like, okay. So I said, hey, I haven't seen anything from, no, what did I say? I said, I've responded to all my messages. I don't think I see anything from you. But send me a direct message just in case I missed your question. She said, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Didn't hear back from them till the next day. Hey, I'm messaging you. You're still not responding. And I said, and then they sent me like screenshots of their formula. They had like a formula with like 20 something ingredients. They were trying to do a ton of stuff. And then I looked at they said, oh, but you responded to me before, but now you're not responding. So they sent me I saw the screenshots. And then when I looked at the screenshots, it was a completely different Patreon. I don't know if you know, let me type her name. She's amazing. Cecil Vid, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I think it's Cecil Vidge. I don't know. I'm horrible with pronunciation. I think that's her, because I follow her Patreon. So I saw the screenshots and I saw that it was Cecil's Patreon. I'm like, and I'm not going to lie, that morning was not a good morning. Like, I had a lot going on. I was just overwhelmed with like messages, emails, and that's not, trust me, I'm not usually that way. I was just like, man, I'm not going to lie. I was just like, you're messaging the wrong creator. I'm not Cecil Video. And I put it like in, what is it? What is the thing when you put like exclamation marks? I was so angry, like, because they kept messaging like, you're not responding, you're not. And I said, I know I'm bad with responding sometimes, but at least Patreon I try. But like, you're coming on my business Instagram like, you're not responding, you're not responding. I'm like, I was like, you are messaging. I said, this is not Cecil V. I don't know how to say her name. She's so sweet. This is not her Patreon. Like, don't send me any more messages. I'm going to block you, because I was so irritated at that point. Like, oh my gosh, because she had messaged me 2 months ago. Hey, I have all these formulating questions. Do you offer consulting? I said, yes, I do. Here is the link. No response. Then she came back like a few weeks later saying, oh, do you teach how to make creams, blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't teach that. I have a beginner class. So that, I think it was just the build up to all that stuff. Yeah, Cecil is amazing, Natisha. I was just like, so when I said that, she now started deleting all the screenshots of I'm just like, thank God I'm not Cecil, because dang, if you're not patient to wait for a response, I was like, poor Cecil, if this is what you're getting on your Patreon, I know. Kudos to you, because, you know, even with Patreon, one thing I'm realizing is, with just people not being patient with just even your content, because I have people that will come, they had one person that joined my Patreon, I think like 5 times, because the name kept popping up. They'll join, cancel after maybe 2 weeks. They'll join again the following month, cancel again after 2 weeks. So I started paying attention to like the dates and comments. One person, that same person was like, oh, you need to put all your percentages and all that on your Patreon. It's just like, I don't know what you're looking at, because they're all there. So it's just, sometimes it's so frustrating where, you know, someone's like, oh, you're not active enough. I'm like, I don't know what you expect. I'm not going to be posting every single day. That is not what Patreon is about. But hey, kudos to those that, you know, stay on there, that support. I'm grateful, but just don't come on. So that's one of the reasons I don't respond on the Instagram DMs. It's just too much. A lot of the requests are ridiculous. You get messages. Where do you buy your containers? Where do you buy this? How do you do this? You know, I'm just like, I can't answer every single question. I wish I could, but I just can't. Let me see. Andre, hi. I made a question about salicylic acid serum is the first comment. I guess you missed my whole response. That was the first question I answered. I said try heating up the salicylic acid. I guess when I answered the question, you had taken off. Yeah, just try dissolving the salicylic acid. Use heat. That has been the most stable way for me to dissolve salicylic acid because it can be quite stubborn to dissolve. So I use glycerin to dissolve my salicylic acid, but I think you said you had, what did you say you were using? I guess propylene glycol I'm assuming that's what you're using. But yeah, it needs a little bit of heat. So just make a water bath and just on low heat. It doesn't have to be on there for a long time, but as it's dissolving, it should be completely clear. If your salicylic acid is not completely clear, then it's not properly dissolved. All that powder, once it's mixed in with the propylene glycol, but very little heat. Don't go put it on full blast. Just put it very little heat and be stirring it as it's dissolving. Once it's completely dissolved, it should be cleared, and that's how you know it's properly dissolved. It was completely clear. I don't know. Yeah, then I don't know why. I've never had that problem with salicylic acid though. Yeah, and propylene glycol is pretty good. Yeah. So when you mixed it, it was clear without heat? Yeah. Like clear, not just like clear. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. The only thing I would say is, where did you buy your salicylic acid from? Yeah, that's the only other thing I would say. Because I have formulas I made with salicylic acid in January that are still... Yeah, where did you buy your salicylic acid from? Yeah. Was it Amazon? I'm just playing. Amazon is not bad, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe try with glycerin, because I did mine with glycerin and that's how no, I'm teasing. I'm just teasing, Andre. Maybe try it with vegetable glycerin. Well, propylene glycol should be good. I don't know why, but you can try with vegetable glycerin and see if that works and it doesn't coagulate again. Really? Interesting. Yeah. I haven't had that. Yeah, I haven't had that. I haven't. I know that's a common issue with salicylic acid, like trying to get it to dissolve. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. Because those are thick, so like they're pretty thick to where it should. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure. Glycerin and those two, yeah, those are pretty good solvents to use. Yeah. So anyway, so I did go off on that person. So hopefully they don't think I was crazy that day. I was like, I'm blocking you. I don't know. Where did you buy your salicylic acid from? That's what I asked. I've not had that problem. I know that I had someone tell me with another formula that they tried making that their creams kept separating. And I think she found out that it was her emulsifying wax where she bought it from. So I can't really say it's salicylic acid. It could be, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say yes or no because I personally haven't had that problem and I've used glycerin. I thought mine would have that problem because I only had glycerin. Sometimes people say dissolving it in glycerin can be problematic, but if you did not try with heat, I would recommend trying with heat and then see. So I would say try it with heat to dissolve it, and if you still have that problem, then it probably is with the salicylic acid. But yeah, I would recommend trying it with the heat first. Low heat till it's completely clear, and then proceed with your formula, like whatever you're making. I think you said you were making a serum. Yeah, I'll be curious to know how that turns out. So Yeah, if anyone has any other question, let me know. But I have one last story time that I thought was funny. So there was this business that started following me on TikTok. So they have, I think, almost 200,000 followers on TikTok. I think it's like 180, 190. Let me see. Yeah, Andre, definitely try that. Try heating it, because 9 out of 10, that heat really helps dissolve it, because you may have mixed it with, and it looked clear, but maybe it's not, So I would say try with the heat first before you eliminate that vendor, you know what I mean? So try with the heat. It's the same thing, I think, with kojic acid dipalmitate. Sometimes it needs a little bit of heat to really get it to dissolve into the, well, this one business, I think it's my last story time because I'm falling asleep. They started following me on TikTok, and I was like, oh wow, this big business is following me on TikTok. Oh, okay. Little old me on TikTok. You're welcome, Andre. So I noticed that they're also African. They sound like they're also Nigerian because they have the same accent like I do. And they started following me on TikTok. And then I noticed, I said, okay, they started liking a bunch of my videos. I said, okay, cool. Then I said, okay, let me follow them. And then I started seeing when I post, I said, okay, I posted like a few videos. And then when their stuff comes up on my feed, they were following my same video style. Like I did a video like, oh, this is why I use unrefined shea butter in my whip body butter product, blah, 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 blah. There's no problem with that. But my issue is if somebody comes on my page and they're like, oh, maybe I'm copying this person, but this is me thinking of my own, marketing, and I was just like, nah. So I think the last one, like I just did a video, I think 2 days ago, and they followed the same thing. I said, nah, I'm blocking you. Don't be trying to steal my ideas. The little ideas I'm trying to come up with is a struggle already. And you're already a big business. So anyways, I just thought that was funny. But anyways, guys, if you don't have any other questions, it's Friday. I want to rest my brain. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I think I'm double checking my notes. I think I answered everyone's question. Oh, I think last one, checking my notes. I think somebody asked me, I don't know, but I wrote it down. They asked me if, I think it was they're making a body butter, their body butter kept separating. I don't know if anyone knows, let me know. The body butter kept separating, but they said they did not add any water-based ingredient. They only had oils and plant butter. And I said, I don't know why. And another person asked me, why is my body butter separating? My whipped body butter, I added carrot juice, I added papaya juice, aloe vera juice, but there was no emulsifying wax. So if you're adding any liquid to oil, you need an emulsifying wax. Otherwise, there'll be separation. So do you think it's a profitable business selling skincare products? It is, if you can find the right products that people want to buy. Yeah, you have to have the right products. That's always the hardest thing. Somebody just asked me this yesterday. You have to have the right products, have the right, and everything is so expensive. Like I'm having to change up how I make my soaps because I was using olive oil as one of my main ingredients, but olive oil is ridiculously expensive. You're welcome, Itama. God bless you too. Yeah. It's just a lot of research. I would say, I always tell everyone, start small, because if you start off with 20 products and you don't know who's going to buy, I always say start off even with just one product, you should be fine. So one girl, I always give her as an example on TikTok. She only has one product on her page, sells hundreds of thousands every few months when she restocks. She only has a hair growth oil and I think one accessory or something on her page. And her business is profitable with just one product. So it's not, I think it's most times if you're trying to keep up with the trends, or one thing I'm noticing is people doing so many colors and things in their body butter, this person. So sometimes you have to figure out what's going to make your product stand out. Sometimes I'll look at certain body butter products and I'm like, if 100 people are selling whipped body butter products and you want to sell your own whipped body butter product, what's going to make somebody buy your own whipped body butter product? Like, or if you're selling skincare or soap, what's making somebody buy? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Natisha, you said it right. Don't follow trends exactly all the time. I learned that lesson the hard way. I think my first year, or was it going into my second year? I was in. Everyone is making all the holiday themed products, holiday themed soaps, holiday themed body butters. I'm like, child, did that first year, man. It was so hard for me to offload the stuff. I had to mark everything down. Like I had body butters I was selling for $6 just to clear them because I had all these holiday scents I did, like peppermint this. I'm not doing none of that. All I do, I offer like sales. I might offer a freebie. You're welcome, Caitlin. I might offer a freebie during Black Friday or something like a free gift. Free gift. Because you're going to have all this inventory just sitting because this person is making a pumpkin. Now people are doing pumpkin themed soaps. I'm like, I ain't doing none of that. People that I'm sticking to what works for me. And funny thing is most people that buy, all my best selling soaps is sensitive skin soap, which is unscented. So nobody's buying, for me, people are not buying what was my thing? Well, one of my soaps was okay. I think one of the holiday thing, but I'm not trying to do that. That just took forever for me to sell those. Yeah. Itama said, if you want beef tallow, I can send you free. I buy it and I don't need to use it. Oh, thank you so much. I know tallow is so inexpensive, but honestly, I was trying to keep my soap as vegan friendly to where it opens up a wider door. You know what I mean? So I know I've been so tempted to use tallow because it's so inexpensive compared to, I went to the store today, just grocery shopping. I was like looking at olive oil prices. I was like, dang, the last time I bought olive oil, usually I'll buy like several large size, or I don't know how you say it, and it had almost doubled in price. I was like, my goodness, like there's just no way. How can you? Yeah, so I thought about tallow for sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but just like, no, I know because of the whole vegan lane I'm trying to stay in. I do have one soap I use honey in, but everything else I don't. I think I only have two products I use honey in, but everything else I try to be. Look, I'll answer this last question and I'm gonna go. If I want to know the maximum and optimum and minimum % of any active ingredient in different formulas, like in serum and cream, lotion and spray, where would I search? It would be the suppliers. It would be the supplier sites. I always say buy from reputable suppliers. They'll have the usage rate. So, just for example, if you go on Lotion Crafter, for example, or Formulator Sample Shop, for example, those are two suppliers I like. They will give you all the information about the active ingredient if they have it in stock, if they are selling it. They'll give a bit of history. They'll tell you what the recommended usage rate is. They'll tell you the products you can formulate with it. So it's always from the suppliers. Some suppliers sometimes may not list the usage rate, but it's very rare. I think I purchased an emulsifying wax from Make Your Own Buzz. They didn't have the usage rate there, and I didn't catch it till later. The supplier is supposed to provide it. A good supplier is supposed to provide it. Because how are you supposed to know? Like something like kojic acid. There are 2 types of kojic acid, so you can't assume every kojic acid, and they have 2 different usage rates. So the supplier needs to have that detail provided. Otherwise, don't buy from them. That's what I always tell. Because if you're buying an ingredient, you don't know how to use it, then you're Googling. That's also kind of dangerous. I will say, Humble Bee and Me has an encyclopedia. I think that's most accurate, one of the most accurate, I'm typing it in the chat. Humble Bee and Me, one of the most accurate formulating resources I've seen out there. For the most part, like she has an encyclopedia of like different ingredients, actives, things like that. So that would be a good resource as well, just in case you buy an ingredient from a supplier that doesn't have the usage rate. But I always recommend the supplier site for sure. Yeah. Natisha said, I did my polls and I found unscented products were high up, and they said every now and then they would use scented products for events. So knowing your market and what your consumer wants is important. Very true. That's the hardest thing though. It takes, and sometimes people actually, businesses change. Like, you have a business that's been maybe 5-10 years, and then you find out they rebranded, they did something, it's all part of the evolution of the whole business world, so I mean it is normal for sure. But I would say definitely not keeping up with the trends. That has been something that I know I struggled with. I was like, oh, it's so easy to just use micas and make all these colorful, amazing looking products, and I'm like, okay, but what's the end goal? Do people buying my products, do they want mica based, they want some like simplicity. But one thing I'll say, I think somebody asked me what was the most challenging things. I think one thing that I found challenging for sure, for the most part, I don't really have, I would say maybe, what's the word? Not giving small businesses enough grace, because you could have on your website that, your shipping time is 3 to 7 business days, processing time, whatever it is. And, someone could place an order and 2 days later, where's my package? And like, it just blows my mind, because there's so many, I had to do like orders and things like for supplies for the holidays, and all the orders, everything I've purchased, I haven't even checked, like, what's the tracking? When is it going to arrive? Like, all I care about is if it ships out. So whenever I get the alert that it's shipped out, I'm good, But I think for smaller businesses, I think it's almost like you make one little mistake, it's like, oh, we got you. We're going to write this horrible review. Where can I send my products to do lab testing? I'll leave it in the link. I didn't post, let me see if it's in this one. If you check the description box, I think I linked the one I use. I can't remember the state in the US, but I linked a microbial lab testing. It's just, if you check the description box of this live or any of the lives I've done, you just go all the way down and you'll see microbial lab testing. I always say, at the very least, do a microbial lab testing or lab test. Yeah, each time I check the description box, it should be there. Yeah, but I think I got everyone's questions, guys. Yeah, just keep supporting and, keep, fine tuning your formulas, keep, what's the word? Batch testing. That's the only way you're going to know if it's stable. Batch test, if you need to make it 10, 20 times, if that's what it takes, it's going to be worth it, because you know that whenever especially if you're selling, that if you send something to a customer, it's not going to fall apart. Like, you send something, then a month later, that thing has turned into another product. Natisha said they expect you to be like Amazon. Yeah, well, not Amazon. Even Amazon messes up from time to time. Andre, yes, Humblebee is very good, but as you said, the supplier should give me the final percent. Yep, for each ingredient. But as I assumed, I'm dealing with low-level vendors. Oh God, low-level vendors. Dang, that's harsh. You just want to buy without knowledge. It's a low-level vendors. I don't think I ever heard that before. Thanks, Natisha. You are welcome. I haven't done a live in God knows how long, but thank you guys for joining the live, and check the description box. My formulating resources are linked there, the ones I use, blogs, all that good stuff. So stay safe. You guys have a fantastic, safe, wonderful weekend, and I don't know when the next live will be. Hopefully we'll have one next month. I don't know, but take care. Have a good